Hey guys, I hope you're having a good weekend. I am just hanging out with a little man here. If you guys have been following me for a super long time, then you will recognize this little guy. This is Orion. And there's a tag video going around the community about are we ever done collecting? And it reminded me of him because he is my oldest baby in my collection. I got him in July of 2012. And I don't think I will ever be done collecting. There's too many fantasy sculpts now. When I first joined this hobby, pretty much if you wanted a fantasy sculpt, you had to make it. You had to, manipulate the clay and sculpt the fantasy elements you wanted. But now there's just tons and tons and tons of kits, and it's killing my bank account. I'm sure my bank account would be happy if I was done collecting, but they just keep turning them out. They're amazing. But Orion is the first, he's the second fantasy baby I ever got in my collection. He is the first alien of any type that I ever had. And I have now the Ashton Drake alien, which has the really big head. It's a gray alien. And then there's another couple gray alien sculpts, and I have one of those, but nothing beats Orion to me. He is my OG little guy. He, to me, is like an alien-human hybrid, like a gray and human hybrid baby, and I love his little E.T. looking finger things here. He's just really cool to me. And there's a funny story about Orion. A long time ago, Orion was created by Stephanie, In Love with Reborn's 2011, and she used to have a different name. It was In Love with Reborn something else. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was ages ago. And Stephanie and I actually met on the forums. We met on Laura's forums. Little X Loves that's Laura. And again, if you guys have been around for a long time, then you know Laura. Laura was a friend of mine as well. Very lovely person. But we met on Laura's forum, and Stephanie made my first monster baby, and that was Zep. He was a zombie. And we became friends, and then she told me she was trying to make a zombie out of this kit. And it wasn't going, Stephanie, you can correct me if this is wrong, but this is how I remember it. It wasn't going right. It wasn't looking the way she wanted it to. And she said, let me send you some pictures and you can tell me what you think. And I saw him and I was like, that's an alien. Like the first thing, oddly, that came to my mind was Yoda. And I was like, that's an alien. That has to be an alien. She's like, okay, I'll try to make an alien. And so she creates Orion, and I was just immediately in love with him. And funny enough, Ems actually wanted to buy him. And I was like, no way, man, that's my baby. Even though she was just creating him for sale. She wasn't creating him as a custom for me or anybody else. She was just making him for sale. And I was like, no, I have to have him. And I think Ems is still a little bit jealous that I have Orion. But I have tried to make, he's the Kamiko sculpt. And I think much like the Lulu and Zimone being the only Lulu that I can have, I think he's the only Kamiko that I can have. Because I have tried to make other types of dolls out of this sculpt, and I made I think it's a Japanese spirit. It's a yurei. It's a specific type of spirit or ghost, and she was a beautiful doll, but I just kept seeing Orion in drag. It was just ridiculous. Every time I looked at her, I just saw him, and I just think he's the only Kamiko sculpt for me, and I just love him to pieces. He's got eyes that follow you. See if I can get him, yeah. And he's got the cutest little bald head. He's amazing. I just love him to pieces. He's out of this world to me. So, yeah, the tag reminded me of him, and he has been here a long time. I don't think he will ever go anywhere. There's just something very special about him, and I think Stephanie gets a kick out of seeing him around, but anyway, I hope you guys are having a good weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!